So you created a course or a program or a digital product, but nobody actually pulled the trigger and bought the thing. Now what do? Let's talk about it here on episode 5 of the Video Brand Infusion podcast. My name is Meredith Marsh, and this is your resource to infuse the best video marketing strategies into your business for consistent sales of your course or your program without ads or constant selling or repeating the same live webinar every single week or month. I've never done weekly webinars, but I've definitely gone the monthly route, and boy, does it get tiring. But we've all been here, I think. I'm sure it's not just me. We've all been in this place where I created something, I expected people to want to buy it, and not very many people did. It could be a course or a program, could be a digital product, could even be a freebie. Have you ever created something for free you're willing to give away for $0 and nobody wanted it? Nobody opted in, nobody downloaded it. Boy, that doesn't feel good. It's easy to blame yourself, like, I guess nobody wants to learn this thing from me, or I guess I'm just not good at this. But more often than not, when I'm on a call with a client or student, or even just having a conversation with, a friend in the industry, more often than not, what I hear is it's really easy to blame the audience. Like, oh, well, my audience just doesn't want to spend money. My audience just doesn't want to invest in themselves. My audience, they just, they don't actually want to, insert whatever it is that your course or program or content helps people achieve. Nobody actually wants to get in shape. Nobody actually wants to sell their art. Nobody actually wants to learn X, Y, and Z, whatever your niche or industry is. Because you know your content, you know that what you created is good because you created it. You created it to be the most helpful thing that you possibly could create for people. And so if people aren't willing to buy, if people can't just see the value in that, then must be something is wrong with them. And there's nothing I can do about it. So I guess this just isn't working for me. I'll just go do something else. I'm going to shut down this business and start up something completely different. But the reality is people spend money every day, all day. I'm just thinking about my teenagers. People spend money all day, every day, even on things that they don't need. They go on vacation, they go to the movies, they go, buy another pair of shoes they don't really need. It's not that people aren't willing to buy things. More than likely, it's a simple matter of you either miscommunicated to your audience, like the full value of what it is that you were offering, or you misinterpreted what you thought your audience really wanted. And the link between those two things is you. It's not your audience. It's you, which means you have the power to fix it. And if you think about it, if you have any audience at all, if you have anybody following you on any platform, YouTube or otherwise, isn't it obvious that people want your help with this thing, with whatever it is that you are trying to help people do? Of course they do. So if you want to create a thriving stream of course sales or program sales or just working with people, let's figure out where the short is in the communication line between you and your audience and what your audience really wants. So you can create something that people do want to buy. So is it miscommunication or miscalculation? The very first time that I created something to sell, it was an ebook. It was an ebook, or you could upgrade to a course, and I'll show you on the screen for those watching the video. It was 1 hour to awesome home movies. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at myself. Oh my gosh. I created this ebook that I charged $12 for. And you could upgrade to the video version where I had like training videos. I think I had I think initially I had like 3 videos and you could upgrade for $50. I was a brand new baby online business creator, YouTube creator. This was like less than a year from the time that I started my channel. And I put it out there and I made 2 sales. And I thought, nobody wanted this? Only 2 people? That's not very good. I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew that I was hoping for more than 2. So I set that off to the side. And a few months later, I created a whole different course, whole different topic. I think the second one had to do with editing GoPro videos. So deliciously specific of a niche. And I made $2,500 with that. I think it was a $97 course. And I was very pleased with the amount that I made from that, but still, it wasn't enough for me to think, oh, I have something here. This is really good. And so I set that off to the side and created something entirely different. After that, I created one called Kick-Ass Edits. So I had created these 3 things, not knowing at all what the heck I was doing, making sales with each one, but chalking it all up in my head to, well, I guess nobody wants this. I guess nobody wants to buy this thing. I'm just not doing it right, I guess. So I started figuring out, all right, well, what am I going to try next? There must be something else that's going to just take off for me. And then I learned that I was approaching course creation very, very, very wrong. And I talked about numbers a little bit in one of the previous episodes, but when this really sunk in for me was when I watched the very first module of a course called Business by Design with James Wedmore. This was back in 2017. The first module that I opened and really dug into and really started taking notes on was the module called TLC, Traffic Leads Conversions. I just pulled out my notebook from way back in 2017 where I had this whole BBD course map literally drawn out. I drew it out by hand. So when I started doing the math of the courses that I had launched previous to joining BBD, I realized that they actually converted really, really well. I just didn't know it because I wasn't looking at all of the numbers. So for example, I have my notes. I have them right here in my notebook. It's so embarrassing. I had 23 sales of my Kick-Ass Edits course. 23 sales from 80 people who registered from my webinar, and 44 people showed up. 55% show up rate on a webinar, and 23 people bought. Overall, of all of the leads that I had for that particular webinar, it converted at 29%. But I saw it as a failure. If I go to the next page, I've got my GoPro Studio Basics course that I launched for $27. I had 9 sales. That's only like what? $250-ish, right? Doing math in my head. That's not enough to build a business with, right? $250. I mean, all in all, this was a hugely, very well converting course launch. But I put it on the shelf and went back to the drawing board and wasted even more time creating something new, and then something new again, and then something new again. If I could go back in time, I would slap myself silly for thinking that these things weren't working. Because in this example that I gave, I had done a couple of webinars, and if people sign up for your webinar and then you don't get sales, it's not because they weren't interested in what you had to offer. It's more likely that you didn't communicate the value of it clearly enough. You didn't make the case for how you could help them clearly enough, because they're obviously interested in what you had to offer. Otherwise, they wouldn't have signed up. They wouldn't have joined your email list or even watched your YouTube videos. Now, if they are not watching your videos, not going to your landing page, not opting into your list, not going to your sales page, and not buying anything, then maybe then you have simply miscalculated what people really want. But you wouldn't know either way unless you looked at all of your numbers. So I mention BBD, Business by Design, with James Wedmore because once I figured out that I was just doing the math wrong, I was able to take my side hustle style business to a full hustle, a full-time business, because of the strategies that I learned and implemented in Business by Design. And I'm going to break down what James taught me in that particular module here for you. But in a couple of months, you can watch all of the modules of Business by Design when the doors are open again. And because I'm an affiliate for BBD, I'm putting together an epic bonus to YouTubeify your business using the principles that I teach for growing your audience with YouTube and the principles that James teaches about building your business. So if you want to YouTubeify your business and you want to get your hands on the bonus that I'm creating, make sure you join my priority list down in the description of this episode, and also get on the wait list for BBD2 just so that you don't get lost in the shuffle. So the way that James teaches TLC is traffic leads conversion, and I think of it a little bit different because my business is YouTubeified and I don't run live webinars or do live launches anymore. So traffic is typically traffic to your opt-in page, your freebie lead magnet page. Leads is the number of people who actually opted in to your freebie or to your webinar, for example. And then conversions are the number of sales that you make. What I like to look at is, obviously we're looking at those conversions, we're looking at sales, and we're looking at leads. But instead of traffic to a webinar sign up page or something like that, I'm looking at the views of my videos that are at the top of my funnel and figuring out the conversion rate of how many people watch this video and then become a lead through the link in the description. So it's very similar, but it's just a little bit different. And that's why it's so important to understand the numbers that are important to you, because obviously I don't care who signs up for my webinars. I'm not doing webinars, but I do care how many people are watching my videos. I care how many people are clicking through to my opt-in page, how many people are clicking play on my videos when they find them. These are all of the metrics that I'm tracking because I have control over what I tweak, what levers I pull to make those numbers perform a little bit better. And then it's like a game. So if you are listening to this and you're like, yeah, okay, but like I created this course and nobody bought it. 0 people bought it. 0 people bought it, Meredith. Now what do I do? What I really want to know is, did nobody buy it, or did just only a few people buy it? Or did only not as many people as you were hoping buy it? What's like the real numbers here? And then work backwards. If you had one sale, how many people saw it? Did you post it on your YouTube channel? Did you post it in a community post on your YouTube channel? Did you email your list? Did you let anybody know that it existed at all? What does Google Analytics tell you about the number of unique visitors to your sales page? Because that's the step that needs to happen before somebody can purchase your offer. You can decide to believe that nobody bought your offer for whatever reason, or decide that it was a flop and you have to go back to the drawing board if you want to, or you can look at the numbers and actually figure out what is the story that your numbers are painting for you. Another thing you can do, which is admittedly very uncomfortable, is you can ask people, why didn't you buy my thing? You can send an email to your list if that's where you communicated about your offer and say, hey, I noticed you clicked on this link, or I noticed you you seemed like you were interested in this. Can I ask why you didn't buy? And you can very simply and just authentically explain, it's the first time that I put something like this together, and I want to make sure that it's actually good and it's actually useful. And so I would love to hear your honest opinion about why you felt it wasn't right for you. No pressure. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm just curious because I want to improve. If this is your audience, they want to give you feedback. They want to help you out. They would love to respond to an email like that. You just have to have the guts to ask that question. And when you do, you might find out, oh, well, you sent this out on a Friday afternoon and I got busy and I meant to click on it, but then I totally forgot. And by the time Monday came around, it was buried in my inbox. So you can go, okay, note to self, we're not sending sales emails on a Friday afternoon. Or, oh, I actually clicked the link to the sales page because I was interested, but it was loading really slowly and I was going to come back when I was on Wi-Fi, but I forgot. Oh, okay. Note to self, send more than one email so people don't forget. People who are interested don't forget that they were interested. These are all things that you can tweak and change and improve the next time you put your offer out without changing the thing that you created, and just changing the way that you communicate it. You can communicate it better and more clearly to your audience so that it's easier for them to see, oh, yeah, I do want that thing. The point of this is to make decisions about what to tweak or what to do more of based on real facts, real numbers, instead of just what you perceive as what's working and what's not working. Because I don't want you to do what I did. I don't want anybody to do what I did, launching 2, 3, 4, 5 courses completely different and assuming that they were all failures and dropping them, going back to the drawing board and then starting from scratch. And I do mean full, complete courses, video lessons, PDF resources, putting it all into my Kajabi, like the course platform, and then putting together a whole like promotion and webinars and all that stuff. And then scrapping it all and starting again just because I didn't know that what I was doing was actually working. And I didn't know how to figure out the little tiny little tweaks I could make to make it work even better. And in episode 6 of this podcast, I put together an interview that I did with James where I asked him specifically for YouTube creators and content creators, what can we do in the world of content creation and course creation to build our businesses and build our revenue streams and not have to rely solely on affiliate marketing, influencer type marketing, working with brands and AdSense from YouTube. So he talks a lot about why YouTube creators stay broke. And I also picked his brain about how big of a YouTube audience you really need in order to find success with selling a course or a program and really building your business on that model. So before that episode airs, if you've been listening and watching this because you're like, I created this thing and nobody bought it, what do I do, Meredith? What do I do? I want you to ask yourself how many people saw it. And I want you to ask your audience, why didn't you want to buy it? Because it'll give you so much insight into where the drop in that communication really was. And I will also want to remind you that if you want to hear more about online business from my mentor, James Wedmore, I'm an affiliate for his signature course, Business by Design. I'm putting together a whole YouTubification of your business. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'm putting together a big bonus for anyone who joins Business by Design with my affiliate link, I'm going to give you a whole bonus. I'm putting it together. I'm really excited about it because I'm putting together some resources that I have not shared anywhere before, even inside of my YouTube funnel clinic. So I'll put a link to my priority list down below if you want to YouTubeify your business, and make sure you also join the wait list for Business by Design so you hear when the doors to that are open, because they're usually only open for just a couple of days, and it's coming up in June. But no matter where you're at in your YouTube business, your course creation business, your content creation business, building a set it and forget it funnel with your content is the simplest way to generate consistent sales of your course or your online offer, your program. And in episode number 1 of this podcast, I broke down exactly how my YouTube funnel works and how you can create one for yourself so that you can generate consistent sales without having to do webinars every week or every month, without having to have stressful live launches. And you can just show up for your audience, have fun, make videos, your audience grows, you generate sales of your offer. I laid it all out in episode 1, so I'll see you there.